Fun. Hey everyone! We are just a little bit excited tonight. I can see lots and lots of ladies jumping on. Welcome to Pillar Training. You are going to have an absolute blast tonight. We have got the one and only Katy Spence. There is no other like this woman. I love her to bits. She's going to be talking about personal development, and I am excited. I have got my pad. I've got my pen. It's got to be a pink pen today. Let's see, who have we got on? People can see us. That is good. Can you hear us? Can you hear us? I hope people can hear us. Just reading a few of your comments. Just wrote on my face in pen, covered it, realised I had covered it in face. Oh dear, egg on your face, exactly. Right, okay, there are quite a lot of ladies on, so I think we are ready for the Katy Spence. Katy Spence, are you ready for us?
I am. Hello. So good.
Right, girl, I'm going to hand it over to you. I'm going to eat my chicken butter and I'm going to make some notes as I go along.
All right. Okay, over to me. Hi, girls. I'm quite nervous, I'm not going to lie. How is everybody? I'm really excited. This is something that I'm massively passionate about. And so I'm going to go and have a little chat to you about not just what you should do, but why you should do it and the reasons behind as well. So when you need to get anywhere, you need to drive in a car, you get in the car. Do you do it by looking in a rearview mirror? Do you judge every journey by the worst one you ever had? Do you get stuck in traffic or have a delayed journey? Do you go, that always happens, you know, planes are late and there's always roadworks. If you had a bad meal, would you quit eating? And yet, when it comes to life and experiences, this is what we do. We have a situation or an experience, and we convince ourselves that that is the way it is. We get stuck in a way of thinking, and we tell ourselves over and over, and that becomes our fact, and that becomes our truth. And this is why personal development is so important. Your mind is a grouchy old woman. She's impatient, she complains, she doesn't like change at all. She's going to question and criticize everything you do because she's trying to keep you safe. But what she's going to do, she's going to chip away at that confidence just enough to keep you from taking risks. And this is what this is going to sound like. I think I can do this. No, you can't. Sorry? Can't do it. What? Nothing. No, I can. Don't think you can, though. No, honestly, I can. If you say so. Okay, you can't do it. Does anybody else get this? Does anybody else have their mind whispering to them, going, you can't, you can, you can't, and it's going in the back of you? I want you to think of a few things you guys tell yourselves, something that keeps you from doing something in your business. And I want you to think about what those things are and challenge them. Is that her telling you, or is it truth? Is it fact-based, or is it a story? What's your evidence? And the decisions you make in life are based on these truths. They're based on the stories that you tell yourself, whether they're positive or negative, and they become fixed. But they're not tethered to us, and they can be rewritten, they can be recreated, and they can be restrung. And this is what's true of everything. I've got notes I'm doing to make sure I stay on track, because anybody knows my training knows I get a little bit sidebar. So this is why I love personal development. It's going to help you rewrite those stories. It's going to help you completely unpick your negative mindsets and the things that you tell yourselves, the reasons you can't. When we start this business, we hear things like leaders are readers, and we're given lists of things to do, but you need a personal development why. You know, you need your business why, but you need your PD why. You need to see the value, otherwise you will never get it. And I've had so many ladies in my business who didn't get why they get personal development. Everybody's has to be different. Everybody has to get what they need to get out of it, and looking at where you need to strengthen will mean that you're going to find the right personal development for you. And that's when you get enthusiastic about it. So when I started, I genuinely thought it was rubbish. I looked at it and was like, yeah, I'm confident, I'm outgoing, I don't need to do that. I don't need it. I don't need to be self-help, because, you know, self-help's for people who are quiet and shy, and I'm not that person. Yeah. The person who's telling you that is her up here. And the more you think that, the truer it is that you need it. And so when you try to do something like this and read something positive and fill your brain with motivation, she's up there going, it's a load of rubbish. It's totally, and she's going to like folding her arms, going, don't need that. You don't need it. We don't need to know this. We're good. We're great. Don't pick that book up. The more you think that, the more you need it. There was a motivational speaker years ago who was associated with Jim Rohn. His name was Charlie Tremendous Jones. And he said, in 5 years from now, and my team have heard me say this before, you will be the same person you are today, apart from the books you read and the people you meet. And that is completely true. And nowadays, you don't have to physically meet these people. People like us, people you can connect with on social media, leaders, influencers, anybody within anything that inspires you, you can connect with. These are the people you're meeting with, and these mindsets are going to positively influence you and your future. Okay? So what sort of personal development is going to be right for you guys? Because there are 3 different sorts. And when I talk to my girls in my team about what they're struggling with, the question I ask is, what are you reading? And if you're a Team Shades girl, you will hear that a great deal. It's something we say a lot, because what you're reading says a lot about where you are with your life, with your mindset, with your business, and with your future planning. I speak to so many ladies, not just in my team, in the business, who are saying, I'm doing consistent personal development, I'm doing this, but I'm still struggling. But when you talk about what they're reading, it actually transpires that what they're reading is business-based and structure and leadership and management. But when she's up here telling them that they can't speak to people about opportunity, that people think they're bothering them, or they're annoying, or their makeup's too expensive, doesn't matter what business book you're going to read. If you're reading the wrong sort of personal development, what you need it to be, it's just a complete waste of time. Your personal development is your armor. It's the tools that you need to acquire strength within your journey. It's like a video game. So you start off at the beginning and you're rubbish and you've got no tools and no experience. You have no clue what you're saying. And you go, right, okay, I need something really basic. And something crops up and goes, do this. You go, woo! Awesome. Crack along with that. And then they add tools and armor and skills and XP. And the further you go, the less the instruction comes, the better you get, the better tools you get, the stronger you get. And if you quit the game and walk away or die, then you're not going to continue those, but it's being successful and keeping forward. It's your armory. It's going to strengthen your mind, sharpen your skills, strengthen your self-belief, and it's going to help you build a concrete trust in yourself, your business, and your future. And without different areas balanced together, it's going to be her again telling you that you can't. We don't like this girl. She isn't our people, ladies. She's in your head. She's not your best friend. And you need to learn that she doesn't have the best interest in you. And you need to give her a name. Give her a name and just let her know that you're not going to listen to her. So, the types of personal development. There are 3 sorts. And people sometimes focus on all one or all the other. And it really takes a massive balance if you're doing a business like we're doing to build these different tools of different levels, like the pillars of training that we do here. So the first one is confidence and personal development, real internal. And this is probably what I've got the most benefit from, if I'm honest, because I thought I didn't need it. On the whole, people quit these sorts of businesses because the voice wins. Because she wins the argument. She wins the persistent, you can't, don't believe in yourself, people think you're stupid, people think you're annoying them. And on the whole, people quit these sorts of businesses because that voice completely takes over. This is going to be the muscle building part of your business, because you will need it and you will need to keep it up. I'm afraid to say it's like going to the gym. If you don't, keep at it, do it persistently, make it a habit. If you slack off, take shortcuts, miss days and don't show up, the bad habits, the voice will come back. The negative self-talk, the doubt, it's all going to return. And this person, even if you're the most confident person in the world, these self-helps, these self-talks, these building you back up, this is what's going to keep that I can do it and I can believe in myself way forward. And you see any of this business who does well, they will tell you these are the books that they read. Books that give you the tools to deal with negativity, both internal and external, are going to help you conquer fear and self-doubt, feed your positivity and your self-confidence. And there are for everybody in all ages, race, it doesn't matter if you're in network marketing, in unique or not. These books, these personal books are for everyone. I actually get my children to do it. And I hand on heart believe if everybody read you are a badass, the world would be a better place. Hand on heart, I believe that. Because even with my kids, I see now, negative influences on social media. I see my kids' alarms going off. I see YouTube videos with, the families that are like this. The boy's like, oh, ours isn't like that. So already now I'm having to, no idea what that is. Sorry, what's it? Working with having kids around, hurrah. It's a Darth Vader alarm clock. Brilliant, sorry. So, who are your personal development readers? Who are these authors? Where are you going to get this soul-filling happiness, joy? You can do it. Best friend books. Cara Alwell-Laber. She wrote The Girl Code. She wrote Fearless and Fabulous. She wrote The Champagne Diet. It's very best friend. It's very one-on-one. It's not business-based. It's emotional-based. It's, you've got this. I believe in you. Tools and weapons to kind of be your own best friend. Lucy, show me a book. Oh, The Energy Bus. That's on my list, Luce. The Energy Bus by John Gordon. That's a big one. A minute. Everyone's saying to me, I think I've got this. What am I reading at the minute? I'm reading Eat That Frog again because it's one of my, I'm going to come to that one as well. Yeah, you've also got Radical Self-Love by Gala Darling. If you're someone who suffers with confidence, No Matter What by Lisa Nichols. And yeah, You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero is potentially one of my favourite books of ever. And I can read it and reread it like a favourite novel because I find I take something away from it. And it's almost like having somebody next to you that gets you. That when you're having a bad day, and it's like having, I've got Lucy in this business and we've got each other to kind of, yes, you've got this, go, go, go. That's what you've got in a book. So do not discount this sort of personal development. It's going to speak to your inner self and kind of build up that inner cheerleader. Books you've got are business-based, and these are your textbooks. These are the tools for success. With any skill or job, you need to follow training. You need to follow the pattern. When you cook, you bake a cake, not unless you're Lucy. People, they say, that's amazing. How did you do it? You do go, witchcraft. It's magic. You go, I followed a recipe. I followed a precise step of instructions of A to B, and I produced this. And these are what these business books are. And eventually with a recipe, you get to know the recipe. You don't need to look at it anymore, but you're still following the recipe. And then once you get the recipe, you go on to harder recipes, more difficult and complicated things. And this is how the business building sort of personal development works. You're always going to follow them, but you're going to build on the skills you've got. The longer in the business, the further you go with your company, with building your business development, the tools are going to become more complicated. So you're going to start with 7 Cent Decision by Amber Voigt. You're going to start with GoPro. You're going to start with really easy introduction books, great things that won't overload you, will teach you about the industry, because this is an industry. This is a real genuine, been going for a very long time, longer than before Facebook existed as well. So there are books out there that will teach you the nuts and bolts of becoming a network marketing professional. And then when you get going, you're going to start reading things like Big Al, when he's got his building network marketing leaders, he's got his color personalities, he's got sentences for great leads, he's got things like that. And you're going to add these business arsenals. So once you've got your base, you're building on top of it, you're building your leadership skills. Then you're going to go to people like Wes Linden. You're going to read books like Hello to Yes in 5 Minutes or Less. More involved network marketing, more professional. It's like going from being a nurse to being a doctor, or starting in college to getting a degree. The books are going to get hard. They're going to get more in depth. They're going to give you greater skills, and they're going to make you a more capable professional in your industry. But I do really recommend looking at older books, because, like I said, people think within network marketing it's been going as long as Facebook. It's been going for decades. And some of the older books, they're more in depth, but they're going to give you a great solid grounding of how to do this and get off your mobile phone and run your business as well. So that's the second sort. And the third style, which is lifestyle and mindset. These are the ones that are going to help you grow in situations, that are going to give you morals and analogies, that are going to give you, I've been there, this was my scenario, this was, organization, structure, planning, strategy. And you've got things like The Secret, which if you haven't, do. Think and Grow Rich, Beach Money, How to Win Friends and Influence People, which is a really heavy hitting book. It's very War and Peace. It's written a long time ago. But it gives you so much strategy. Like, yes, you know, how to speak to people. And the premise of How to Win Friends is to be a people person, to listen, you know, to ask questions. Everything we're taught in network marketing, everything we're taught in our business, everything that our leaders speak to us, this book, How to Win Friends, tells you. But it's so applicable on so many different levels in every relationship. And then you've got people like Tony Robbins, you've got people like Jim Rohn, who are more lifestyle and mindset based. They're not going to teach you how to necessarily love yourself inside out, back, front, and sideways. They're not going to necessarily teach you how to build a 6-figure income, but they're going to give you practical life skills and tools that you're going to apply into that recipe. And this to me is like your 5 a day. You're always going to benefit from dipping in and out. These resources are pretty much unlimited. Because it's been going for such a long time, I can dip into one network, one leader, somebody like Jim Rohn, and find 10 people he was connected with 30 years ago and go that way. And you can come away with a small little nugget or a complete light bulb revelation, something that really goes, oh my God. I listen to Jim Rohn in the car, and even the boys are like, yes, Jim Rohn. And sometimes it's a tiny thing, but with your skills growing in your business, these different things that come applicable. So when and where, because I know what some of you are thinking. Can't read, hate reading, don't have time. Insert excuse here, yes. I see you girls. Do you smell what I'm stuffing in? Do you? Everybody, everywhere, all the time, anywhere can access some sort of personal development. And when you're making excuses, guess who's having that conversation with you? Because it's not you, it's her. She is telling you the reasons why she doesn't want you to do it. Your ego, your inner self, the one that wants to protect you from failure and disappointment, she's giving you these ridiculous reasons. Now, if you want to take this business seriously and you want to be taken seriously, you really need to commit to long-term skill growth. Skill growth, emotional growth, and confidence growth. And girls, I've got some tough love. If you cannot commit to daily personal development, you're not serious about the long term of your business, period. And I say that because I love you. I'm saying it like Shari would say it to us. I love you. So I'm telling you, if you can't do it, you have to consider what investment you're willing to make in this business. Because you want to be a professional, you can't walk into a surgery with a blade and go, I've got a knife and a white coat, let's go. You can't do it. And it's the same with this. It's makeup and it's wonderful. We're in a wonderful business. We get to uplift people and feel great and help women. There's nothing dangerous. It's not, nutrition. It's not anything that we can give the wrong advice. You need to be able to wield that knife. So where are we getting personal development from? Are you ready? Books, real life, old off paper. The works is, if you've got a works near you, one of my girls in my team loves proper books. She doesn't like digital books. So she goes in and she got The Secret, The Power, all the ones in that series. And she's like a tenner, 3 for a tenner. There is always a section on personal development in the works. Bet you didn't know that. If you like your audiobooks, you've got Audible. Did you know that you can get free audiobooks off Amazon? You are about this. It's completely for free. It's completely for free in chapters on YouTube. There is no excuse. You don't even have to put your money in your hand in your pocket to get your money out. You've obviously got your Kindle, your tablet, digital books, PDFs of old books. I've discovered that Eat That Frog, it's a very old book by a guy called Brian Tracy. It's about getting it done. And the premise that if you have to eat a frog that day, it's the worst thing you can do, and looking at it won't make it any better, so just get it done. And if you have to eat 2 frogs, eat the ugliest one first. It's a brilliant book about procrastination and daily planning. But it's so old, you can find it as a PDF. You don't even have to pay for it. You have got YouTube. You have got Facebook groups. You have got Facebook pages. You have got Facebook Lives. You've then got old school trainers like Jim Rohn. Who did he associate with? Brian Tracy, who wrote Eat That Frog. Who did he associate with? Zig Ziglar. Old school network marketing genius. They were then inspired. They trained Tony Robbins, Eric Warren, these people. Who are they inspired by? It's like a funnel web. When the girls were in Most Powerful Women in Vegas, I went through their training and I wrote down the names of these women. And I went and subscribed to every single speaker. I have hundreds of hours of things to listen to. I cannot get enough. 6 women, 6 YouTube. Their business is to coach people like us and they're giving away this training for gratis. You've got weeks upon months upon free training that you don't have to pay for. You've then got podcasts. You've got a thing called TED Talk as well. Our leaders, other leaders in other direct sales, I discovered for my business, the It Work skills in America are cracking at Instagram. Guess what I've been doing for 6 months? I've been stalking them. I've been watching their lives, watching their YouTubes. Nothing to do with Unique, nothing to do with our business, but it's a skill that I would find applicable. I'm gonna kill this thing. It's having kids. Subscribe to every one of our big status leaders. Shari Brown. If you don't watch Shari, then you need to sort yourself out, girls. She's just amazing. Her training covers all three of these elements as well. But Bree this week shared a training that Shari did. Did you know that? So they were all at one of the Empower Yous this week. If there's an Empower You, this is one of my favorites. We don't use Periscope so much anymore, but they all always hashtag and Empower You. So wherever they are in America, you Google that, you look at that hashtag on Facebook, girls, and every presenter, like we would, shares their posts, shares their videos, shares their clips, shares their lives. I spent an entire day watching, was it Texas or Toronto or something like that? An entire day watching Empower You in another country. The stuff I learned was absolutely, it's all within our leaders. It's all free again. And sometimes you can get one or two or three different sorts, but you can go back to it. It's like reading a good book. You can get something from these every single time. You can go back, and I've got a Jim Rohn training, and I listen to it again and again. So don't think once you've read it, it's done. Don't dismiss that piece of training, because 9 months from now, you're going to be in a different place in your mindset and your business, and you're going to have to go back then and take something else away from that training. So that's my coaching for you guys this evening. Hope it's okay. I was just reaching over to turn alarm clocks off and catch my notes. I'm going to pass you back to Lucy and see if you guys have got any questions.
Wow, Katy Spence. I had to put my earphones in because I wanted to turn the laptop up loud to fill the room, fill my brain with you and what you're talking about. Now, there aren't any questions on the side. Girls, if you do have any questions, please post them now, because I've got some questions to just fill this little bit of time in that might just be going through a few girls' heads. Now, I'm thinking like an absolute brand new presenter. Okay. Where would you say they should start? Like, do they start with everything, or would you say start with
I would start with, see, for most people, they know the business stuff comes because we provide a lot of that. A lot of it starts up here, and that is where it's won or lost. In the first 3 to 6 months, we know new presenters, the quit or the success comes down to the I can and can't attitude. And so for me, the personal building, the self-belief building is probably even bigger than the business skills, because they will come, because once the confidence comes, the confidence in yourself comes as well. And so then you are inspired to go out and look at the big trainers. You are inspired to go out and actively want to build your business skills and want to build on what you know as a leader. But if you don't have that self-belief, like I said, you've lost before you started.
Okay, so give me a book. I'm brand new. What am I going to start with?
You Are a Badass. Without a shadow of a doubt. It should be on the NHS, that book. It's just like having a personal cheerleader. It isn't business based. It's all heart based.
Do I get ticks?
Yes. I've got it on like 3 different formats. I take it everywhere with me. And if I've got 10 minutes, I just read it. But again, it's on YouTube, ladies. There isn't, if you go on YouTube and look for it, it's for free as an audio.
Yeah.
So I don't have time to read. There's literally no excuse. You can pick up a 6-minute chapter when you've got, stick your earphones in when you're cooking dinner. Do it on the school run. What I do is I put my phone up in my little cradle before I'm pulling off the drive. I set a YouTube up and I just drive off. And I'll listen to a 40-minute YouTube while I'm driving. I have to touch my phone. I have to listen to it.
Yeah.
There's 40 everywhere now.
Perfect. Claire's just asked a question. How do you make notes from your personal development? Good question.
So if I'm doing something like I was doing, there was the 10x live training I brought in there. So there was a network marketing event. I would sit and make notes specifically, like almost like a classroom, almost like I was in a lecture. I would sit down and I would sort of coach myself from it. If it's sort of quick personal development is just committing to memory, because sometimes just feeding it into your brain, you don't need to learn every word, you don't need to commit it to memory. Sometimes just having it fed subliminally while you're doing other things makes that difference as well. So if you want to really sit down, like it's something for growth, something for training, something that a skill, I will make those notes. But if it's just more lifestyle and sort of, like I said, you know, bit of Tony Robbins, bit of Eric Worre, bit of Jim Rohn, stick it on and get going, because you don't need to actually make the notes, because it's all just kind of little nuggets of information.
Yeah, something that I do with because I do both like you. I do the skill side and I do the personal growth. My personal growth tends to be more in the morning. So at the minute I'm listening to The Hero. Oh my goodness, made my husband listen to it the whole way to Scotland. He's a changed man. But no, seriously, what I tend to do is I will listen to normally about 10 minutes in the morning whilst I'm getting ready. I'll lock it in my brain, and at the end of the day I do make notes, but it's more of a journal, and it's more about what have I learned from this morning and how have I acted on it, because it's okay listening, but if we don't act on it, then it's absolutely wasted, isn't it? So maybe girls, start a journal where you write in just a simple book every night on things that you have learned and things that you've achieved. Yeah, that day. It's not necessarily making notes as you're listening. It's making notes about what you have learned from the actions from what you've listened to. There's no more questions there, so I've got another one. How much? I know you said like you should be doing it every day. How much time? How much time?
As much as you can allow. 10 minutes minimum. I say to the, you know, like being of like a fitness coach, drop and give me 10 minutes. Just 10 minutes minimum should be. But if you can fit in 10, 20 or 30, but again, it's like a muscle. If you're thinking about going to the gym, you're thinking about exercise, if you go, right, you go from no exercise to a 4-hour workout, you're going to be like, no. Or you're going to go, yes, no, I've got laundry to do.
Yeah.
Slowly, you're going to become a habit. With habits, you need to spend a little bit of time in practice. And once we become practice, we become accustomed to acclimatize. And when we spend time in that acclimatization and acclimation, we then feel empowered. We feel like we're able to. If you did the same exercise 10 minutes a day for 2 weeks, you then go, okay, this is, I can go for more. Whereas if you try and go for, you know, I know Katie Louise Hamer reads like an hour to 2 hours a day. Not everybody can do that. So I think if you say that to me, they go, that's a lot, I don't read, so I'm just going to not do anything. I think if you can fit in 10 minutes of something to start with, you get passionate about it as well.
I think where I really struggled with personal development, I didn't do it for a while. I must admit, I'll put my hands up. I did the GoPro, but in terms of personal development, in terms of your confidence and motivation,
you were like me. I don't need it. I don't need it.
Yeah, I did. I didn't think I needed it.
I'm not quiet.
Yeah, and then it hits you in the face, doesn't it? But I think for me, I found it hard to sit down and read a book because I'm a woman and I'm a mum and I'm a wife and I'm a multitasker, and I always feel like I need to be doing something. Yeah. So I find it hard to sit and focus. So you know, I can do that now. It's really important that you do that. But for people like that, the way I got into it was I get up in the morning, I literally have my Audible app on my phone, I press play, I'm in the bedroom and I'm getting ready whilst I'm listening at the same time. You're driving, you know, at the same time. You're doing something, but you can still listen. You know, the big thing that I did, which was a big game changer for me, is if you can go to bed with a positive mind, you're going to wake up with a positive mind. Absolutely. So I put my earphones in and I will play something. And even though you're asleep, your subconscious is listening and you dream happy dreams and you will wake up.
I enjoy reading. So for me, reading's always been a pleasure. Reading's always been something I've enjoyed doing. So
my last question for you is... Okay, so you mentioned the different areas of what we need to develop. Do you need to develop each area daily, or can you focus on one for a month for a book and then change and then change? What would you advise?
Because again, with a lot of it being confidence-based, and like I said, most of us start, we go, we don't need the confidence bit. We'll go straight to business. We'll go straight to Big Al. We'll go straight to GoPro. And we're not, and the amount of girls that have come to them, I'm struggling. You go, what are you reading? And they go, oh, you know, I've read this, and I've read Wisdom, I've read Go for No. And you go, well, why aren't you doing that? Oh, I'm shy and I'm nervous and I'm this. And I'm like, well, So for me, that's the biggest thing. But I think you start with the personal stuff, because we are giving people the tools, with the pillars we've got with the training and with the training groups that you guys have all set up. We've got an amazing business core training.
Yeah.
It's when you go into the business, like I said, you become more enabled. You're going to want to do more. Whereas if up here starts weak, that's the biggest fall down. But also, don't worry about doing too much. But also, if you're passionate and you want to get started, don't think, oh well, I must start and wait. If you're really excited, go for it. These are our textbooks, and they are there. And if you want to study for a degree and you want to do it in 6 months, pick the book up and do it. But if you rather just work on you to start, that address where you think that because some people come into it and go, I've got this, I'm amazing. I was very like a sponge when I started this business. I wanted to read and I wanted to pay attention. So I did do the mix and match, but I now look back and I go, I really should have gone for the holding yourself in here and going, right, no, I've got this.
Yeah.
The inner voice can be quiet now. And that to me makes a massive difference.
Yeah, I think it's so easy to look at yourself and think, well, I'm really good at that, so I'm just going to develop it even more. The hardest thing is to actually pinpoint what you're not very good at.
How many conversations have we had and we've gone, have you read this?
Yeah, and to actually attempt.
For two confident women.
Yeah, to attempt to better the things that you're not very good at, which means you're going to have to smash some comfort zones, and that is very, very scary. Have we got a list? Can you put a list together of the books, please?
I will be doing a list. I'm going to do that. I was halfway through it tonight when I.
Where are you going to post that, Katie? Where do
you need me to post that?
Well, there's some in Fabulash on here, and there's some in I think there's some in Dream Team. But if you go with Fabulash, then they can share it.
Then the leaders can share it out, then, can't they?
Yeah. So we'll post it into Fabulash. When will you be able to do that by?
I'll do it tonight.
You don't need to do it tonight if you're busy.
That's fine.
She's a pro.
Well,
She's a pro.
It'll be done by tonight. It's fine.
Amazing. Well, thank you very much for coming on.
It was a pleasure. Thank you for having me, guys. I really hope you've taken value from it.
I must admit, I was voice noting. I've got to tell them. I was voice noting Katy Spence before this, and my words were something along the lines of, "Katy, I'm sat here in the dark. I can't be bothered getting up and putting my light on. My legs are hurting. My feet are burning.
Not feeling well.
I don't know if I can do this. I don't feel well." And I'm so pleased that she went, "Get your badass up," because we've got work to do. And I'm so pleased. I have written loads of notes. I feel like I can take on the world now. So thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much. Ladies, we will be back next week. Next week it will be around sales and customers. And bearing in mind, we have got the kudos, which is absolutely ridiculous this month. For those of you who don't know, if you sell 10 of the kudos, then you are going to have a massive trunk posted out to you, the unique trunk. So next week is going to be all about customers and how we can get those sales. So if you want that trunk, if you want to sell 10 of those kudoses, I suggest you get your badass onto this webinar next week, and you encourage every single member of your team as well. There are not enough people on this webinar. I know there's going to be a playback. I know that that people have time commitments and children and things, but there are not enough people on here. I can see the numbers. So if you are on here, give yourself a pat on the back, go and get yourself a glass of wine because you deserve it, and read a really good book. Okay, ladies, I'll see you all next week. Bye.